WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Visit Bloomington, Indiana, where Hoagie Carmichael, Booker T. Jones, and John Mellencamp impacted the city and helped it become a music destination. Bloomington is home to a variety of musical artists, live music venues, and hundreds of annual music events. More information at musicbloomington.com.
I'm Kyle Long, and you're listening to Cultural Manifesto. Comedian Lucas Waterfill has established a significant presence on the stages of Indianapolis comedy clubs. His work as a stand-up comic mixes autobiographical storytelling with sharp social commentary. Lucas was born with cerebral palsy, and he uses his experiences navigating the world with a disability as a springboard for comedy, as heard in his 2023 special, Public Inconvenience.
See me, I'm really crippled. And really crippled is the level of crippled where people are surprised that we're outside. People go up to me all the time, they're like, "Hey buddy, we're so proud you made it out. How'd you do it?" Little do they know it's the easiest I've ever done.
Lucas's latest project, Up All the Nights, is a play co-written with the musician and writer Blake Mellencamp. Up All the Nights will be staged daily from August 16th to the 24th at Indy Fringe. And Lucas Waterfill and Blake Mellencamp are my guests. Let's join our conversation. Lucas, Blake, thank you both so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to talk, Lucas, a bit about your comedy career, and we're going to talk about the upcoming show at Fringe, Up All the Nights. As we get started, Lucas, I did want to talk a bit about your background. From what I understand, you grew up in Hendricks County, which is out where I grew up too.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about your early years. I know you were involved in music. Were you always interested in comedy?
Yeah, so I grew up, in the hardcore punk scene, and, I was always friends with musicians and skaters and, that scene, the punk scene, and I was not much of a musician, or a skater, and but I loved to perform. I loved to be in the center of attention. And I loved, I was a lead singer of a hardcore band, so I loved that aspect of it. So that's what got me engaged with comedy and with our act was basically a comedy show. It was just us goofing around as kids, so. And then I got into political organizing, which helped me hone that, making speeches and all that. So, I've always loved the limelight. I've always loved, all eyes on me type, situations. So
on the way up here, we were talking about the sort of overlap between working in music, working in comedy. A lot of those principles probably you learned in the DIY scene you've been able to apply to booking shows as a comedian. How much of that overlaps for you?
Yeah, it's I think that's the beautiful thing about Indianapolis is we have to do it all by ourselves. There is no background, there is no Met Gala, there is no Hollywood, there's no industry, so we have to make ourselves, we have to put it out there, we have to do the promotion, do every aspect of, of the of the play, of the show, of the, record, whatever it is. We have to promote, we have to produce, we have to get the talent together. And I think that's the beautiful thing about indie. Is like if we don't do it, it doesn't happen,
You mentioned your background in hardcore punk music and political organizing. When did the idea of comedy become something you wanted to kind of seriously pursue?
I was always a fan of like Carlin and Patrice O'Neill and like honestly Louis C.K. and like stuff like that. And so that was always in my background, like the back of my mind. And so when I got out of school for political science, there weren't many jobs around for me. And I was thinking about going to law school, doing that whole thing. But then I made the mistake or the beautiful mistake of doing a open mic. And like that what hooked me. I probably got one laugh maybe, but that one laugh just hooked me. So I think that's the thing about most artists is like you get that one little hook in you and it's over. You don't want anything else. So
Yeah. That first night that you went up to the stage for the open mic, doing open mic comedy, it's not like doing karaoke. You have to have something to say. You have to have some original ideas. Did you have material in your pocket, or were you just like riffing with the audience?
I had material. I mean, some material I can't repeat right now, but I think it was pretty vulgar, but I got it out and like could command a stage and could land a punchline. And when you're first starting out as an artist or a performer, you have to have some delusion, like, because you're not good. And like the only way to practice stand-up is to do it in front of a crowd. So you have to be delusional a little bit to be able to get past the first 5 or 8 years when you're still working out the kinks.
Mm-hmm. A lot of your material is very autobiographical, right? You talk about a lot of very personal things. You talk about your disability. I believe you were born with cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
Tell our listeners a bit about what sort of things you're talking about in your act, because this relates to what they're going to see at Indy Fringe, right?
Yeah, so I talk a lot about my experience, my daily life with disability, and how disability interacts with an able-bodied world, a world not built for me or built for people like me. And there's a lot of humor in it, You know how they say tall is talent in basketball? I think crippled is comedy. It's you have that perspective and you have that different and perspective of what people say to you, the ridiculous stuff people say to you on a daily basis, whether it's from a good place or not. It's like, I have to report this is insane, or else I'll go insane, and I want to share that with the world. So that and family, and then I do just everyday stuff like family issues, friendship issues. I deal with depression. I talk about that. I talk about politics. And I try to come away with it in a way where, like, I don't know what the answer is, and so I'm not preaching, but I know there's issues, and the issues are funny.
Yeah. What kind of responses do you get from audiences? Is it all positive? Are there people who maybe aren't prepared to hear you speak so honestly about life and the different issues you've encountered?
I think it's mostly positive. I think if they have negative experiences, they keep it to themselves mostly. But I have ran into people that say, I was offended by you saying that word or this word, and that's their business, and I respect that, but I'm not gonna pull any punches. I mean, I grew up with this, and I don't think I say anything out of pocket for me, out of my lane. And I stay within my lane. Maybe go a little fast in that lane, but I keep it respectful, but I push the limits at this. I don't know. I don't want to sound pretentious. I don't know. It's comedy. It's fun.
No, I heard a great quote from you. You said you're not here to inspire people. You're here to get laughs. And it seems like that's sort of like a guiding principle of your work, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm there's plenty of people that do that and do that well, but that's not my goal.
Yeah. It seems like you've had a lot of success as a comedian. I think you've been doing this for about 10 years. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, you've played extensively in local comedy clubs. You've toured, at least regionally. I don't know where all you've played. You've played at comedy festivals, opened for major artists. You did your first special in 2023, Public Inconvenience. Comedy has been pretty good to you, it seems like. Does it feel like that way for you?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I would like to make more money, but I think that's what we're all struggling to do right now. But yeah, I like it. I think it's harder in the Midwest because we don't have that industry and we don't have those people at our shows being like, I want to make you a star or whatever. But, so we have to do it ourselves. And the internet helps and hurts sometimes, but mostly helps me spread my material. And, I'm glad I didn't go to law school.
Yeah.
So
Good move.
I'm glad I stayed with comedy.
I mentioned your 2023 special, Public Inconvenience, and I just wanted to mention briefly, since we are a PBS, NPR affiliate, you have a great bit in there about the PBS documentary filmmaker Ken Burns.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if it's repeatable.
Probably not.
But it is. I'm a big Ken Burns fan. I was watching the Ernest Hemingway one recently.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, if any of our listeners are curious, they can watch your comedy special on YouTube, Amazon, everywhere.
It's all over. Yeah.
Lucas, your latest endeavor is a show for Indy Fringe titled Up All Nights, co-written by Blake Mellencamp, who also joins us here today. Blake, thank you for being here.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I think many of our listeners probably know you as Robin Goodfellow, a musician here in Indianapolis. I believe you're also an educator and you do some writing as well. Mm-hmm. Give us a little bit of your bio before we talk about this piece.
Yeah, I was in a band called Robin Goodfellow for a while, though, and I was an educator for about 10 years teaching middle school English, but I've been doing the writing thing on the side for a long time. And last year I was actually able to go full-time as a freelance writer, so that's a whole new world right now. And since I don't have students looking for my music online, now I can use my real name for upcoming releases, so that's going to be great. Yeah, I moved to Indianapolis in 2015, and I got back into theater around 2018. I always loved acting as a kid. A friend of ours, David Malloy, who's actually the director of the show and one of our fellow actors, spotted me at an open mic at Square Cat Vinyl, actually, and just asked if I had any acting experiences, and just asked if I wanted to be in a play. He sent me a script, and I've been doing shows with this company, Clerical Error Productions, ever since 2018. We've had a show in the Fringe Festival every year since then, and have had many other productions during the theatrical season. As of this year, I'm now the president of Clerical Error Productions because our founder, Kate Duffy, stepped down from that role. So this is the first Fringe show, second show that we've done with me as the president of the organization, which I still have a lot of imposter syndrome about. But I think this is going to be a really fun play. This is the second play we've produced that I've written. We had another show called Pompeii and Circumstance that I did a few years ago. And I'm really excited for this one because this has been a very interesting writing experience to team up with Lucas as a co-writer and help adapt some of the ideas he had that don't really work in a stand-up comedy format for the stage and for a play with a full cast and everything.
Yeah, I wanted to give you a chance to talk about the subject matter. On the Indy Fringe website, Up All Nights is described as a hilarious look at navigating life with a disability. Up All Nights emphasizes the importance of building community within a harsh political climate. Either of you want to comment on kind of the subject matter of this piece?
Yeah, so I think Indianapolis is really influenced just like growing up in a small city and surrounded by more conservative area, and like I just think it's wherever you are on the political spectrum, it's confusing times, and it's like very, our world is being turned upside down, and it's been turned upside down all our lives. We've had so many tragedies. We've had, not like our lives, my generation, we had 9/11, we've had the crash, we've had all these things, and through all that, I think we find community and we find each other, and we kind of have to build our own morality and our own, like, sense of self and sense of community. And, I think one of the big jokes through this play is like everyone talking about always leaving. Like, we always want to leave this place. Like, you grew up in Indy, you know how it is. Everybody's talking about going to the coast or going to Portland or whatever. And I think at the end of the day, it's like being happy where you're at and making it home where you're at and being like, this isn't as bad as it can be, or it can be better, and we can make it better.
I mean, like, it's kind of like you touched upon earlier with Indianapolis lacking that kind of established entertainment industry at the level of some places on the coast. But that is one of the reasons I really love being here in Indianapolis, is like, we are free to create things and jump into these local scenes, whether that's music or comedy or theater, and really have that stage to say a lot of things and make creative things. So at the same time, like, my list of complaints about Indianapolis can go on and on. We talk about the roads in particular and public transportation a lot in this play. But at the same time, I love the people here, and I love being a part of this creative community where we get opportunities to do projects like this. So it's this love-hate relationship almost.
Yeah, and I mean, I pulled from a lot of influences from that, and from like Kevin Smith movies, like that kind of, like Clerks, and like the movie SLC Punk, like those kind of coming of age movies where, they're in their, late 20s or early 30s, and they're kind of like, what? We were supposed to have something figured out by now, but we don't. So, that love for a small city is, a small town is there. So,
Lucas, this is another sort of plot twist in your career, right? Now you're acting on stage. Has this been a difficult transition for you? Is it something you might want to continue to do in the future? What's this experience been like for you?
I mean, it's great. I mean, I'm portraying a 30-something alcoholic in a wheelchair, so it's like not that far-fetched. So I love it. I love bouncing off other people. I love me not being the center and like letting other people shine. I don't know. It's more collaborative, I think, than stand-up. So it's just like another muscle, you know. It's like, and yeah, if I find new roles or people ask me to do it, I would love to do it. So
I think we're lucky, speaking of like bouncing off other people, we've been able to assemble a really great cast who are just a lot of fun to work with. And I think something we set out to do was to find a lot of new people. A lot of the fringe shows, definitely it's like a very insular kind of acting community. We all know each other, just like in the music scene, we all know each other. So we were able to find a lot of people who want to get into acting or get back into acting, or other people whose like main mode of expression is stand-up as well. And I think it's breathing a lot of new life into it, this mixture of very experienced actors plus a lot of fresh faces to the Indy Fringe stage who have not performed in the festival before. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
yeah.
Up All Nights is being staged from August 16th to the 24th. You have performances daily. Our listeners can go to the Indy Fringe website to find show times and purchase tickets. Any final thoughts you want to share about this piece, or anything you want to let our listeners know about before we wrap up? Lucas, Blake, any thoughts?
I mean, I think we hit it all.
You did? Yeah. Blake?
Come to the show, please.
Yeah, come to
And remember to support public media because they support you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Lucas, can I put you on the spot? What would be like a good classic hardcore song to go out on right now? Do you have like a favorite tune?
Didn't you have a specific song you wanted to end the show with, too?
We were talking about your days in hardcore music, yeah.
There is going to be a lot of Sade in the show, but that's not really hardcore punk.
Yeah, there's going to be Sade. I've been listening to Bad Brains always.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then Bad Brains, Germs.
Germs, yeah.
I've been listening to always the Ramones. I'm a big Ramones fan.
Yeah. Well, the Germs seldom get played on public radio, so how about Richie Dagger's Crime? Is that a good song to end
there
with?
you go. There you go. There you go.
Thank you both so much for being here. Blake Mellencamp, Lucas Waterfill. The piece is titled Up All the Nights. It's happening at Indy Fringe. Thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by Visit Bloomington, Indiana, where Hoagie Carmichael, Booker T. Jones, and John Mellencamp impacted the city and helped it become a music destination. Bloomington is home to a variety of musical artists, live music venues, and hundreds of annual music events. More information at musicbloomington.com.